All right, this question is for Justin. Justin, what types of exclusionary practices are documented among voucher-accepting private schools, and how do these practices go against North Carolina educational statutes?
Justice Earls mentioned this earlier, but I'm just going to quote the state law that says a general and uniform system of free public schools shall be provided throughout the state wherein equal opportunities shall be provided for all students. So that law only applies to public schools. It does not apply to private schools. Private schools can legally discriminate against LGBTQ plus and non-Christian students, and they do. I brought some primary source documents for you all this evening. This is from the Handbook of Fayetteville Christian School. FCS will not admit families that belong to or express faith in non-Christian religions such as, but not limited to, Mormons, Jehovah's Witnesses, Muslims, non-Messianic Jews, Hindus, Buddhists, etc. Furthermore, students and families are expected to manifest by example Christian virtue in their lives both in and out of school by living life according to biblical truth. Accordingly, FCS will not admit families that engage in illicit drug use, sexual promiscuity, homosexuality, or other behaviors that Scripture defines as deviant and perverted. Once admitted, if the student or parent or guardian with whom the student resides becomes involved in any of the above activities, it will be grounds for dismissal of the student/family from the school. I've read dozens of these handbooks, and the language that I just read to you is not unique. Discrimination against students with disabilities is also common in North Carolina public schools. Here's a section from, actually I'm not going to read the whole thing, but a school in Raleigh that specifically says we do not admit students who have an IQ that falls below a certain level, and we don't honor IEPs. I think that most people who work in public schools are tremendously proud of the fact that we accept all students that come to us and do our best to teach them in the best way that we can. Public schools are required to provide transportation and to feed all students that come to us, and private schools are not. So I think that those are all in their own way exclusionary practices. Joanna mentioned cherry picking that goes on where private schools are able to choose whoever they want to and exclude whoever they want to. As an educator who deeply believes in education as a human right, that's very troubling to me, and I wouldn't want to be a part of that at all. So one more thing I just wanted to add about the exclusionary, kind of like, where are we headed with all of this? North Carolina is a little bit behind some of the other states in the voucher game. We can see in Arizona and some other states that have been at this a little bit longer than us. What happens over time is that quite often some of these private schools begin to raise their tuition. Sometimes, that the rise in tuition matches the voucher dollar amount. And so, I think we're definitely, we need to watch out in North Carolina. There are already signs that we're headed in that direction as well. And if the vouchers that we're providing to, to certain families can get a kid into a certain school but not into another school, then I think that's it's an equity issue that we need to be talking about.